We're filming Mallrats at the Eden Prairie Mall in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I guess it's Eden Prairie, right?
There's a really familial atmosphere here. Everyone gets along, from cast and crew and whatnot. It's just nice. It's like everyone's pitching in to bring the story to life, and they're really behind the script. It reminds me just like Clerks, just of Clerks.
Everybody's close. There's a lot of joking around on the set. It definitely helps that you have Kevin Smith, who is young, our other producer, Scott, who's young, and then you have somebody like Jim Jacks, who's older and very experienced, and he's sort of like the guide. You know, he's sort of guiding us all through it. And he's an amazing, amazing guy and done amazing films. So I think that we're all really lucky to have him as a part of this movie.
Everybody's a blast. Everybody's really good. Everybody's really good to work with and listens and works with you and gives you suggestions. Nobody's afraid to give other people suggestions, or if they get an idea, they're not afraid to say it, which is good because we've come up with a lot of really funny moments by just people, you know, throwing things out, you know, and then they get incorporated into the movie.
Everyone's great. I mean, everyone that's been brought on is just incredible. The crew's like, I don't think, there's not a weak link in it. And it's just made this entire thing just like a real pleasure for me.
We got a lot of fun people involved. The actors are involved, they're all fun and having a good time with the script.
Well, Kevin's, he's born to this business. He's truly born to this business. I think that he's going to be one of the few long-lasting people. You know, I mean, considering he's so young, which is so shocking, he's unbelievably clear, responsible, dedicated, incredibly creative. And he just sets a very calm presence, and he just creates an environment for you to work. You know, there's very low angst. There's, you know, usually sets is high energy, high angst, a lot of egos. And because he doesn't have an ego, well, he has an ego, but not, you know, in a negative way, it just allows everybody to do what they need to do. You know, he's a really good example of a director, you know, and I think that he's going to go very far because of it.
His sense of humor is amazing, and like sometimes we'll just come up with ideas for scenes, and so it's really loose like that.
I mean, he seems like the real thing, so I mean, it's not like some flash in the pan guy. He seems pretty cool about it, and he knows what he's doing with the script.
You know, he has such a strong vision of what he's doing, and as an actor, you know, usually you have to bring pretty much everything yourself to what you're doing, but it's kind of been a pleasure to have somebody have such a specific view that you really just have to follow his lead. He's very specific.
I sat down, I watched Clerks, and I was like, you know, wow, this is pretty good. And then I read the script, and I just adored it because it's really an actor's piece. You have all these great monologues and all this really great dialogue, and it's very juicy stuff for an actor, very challenging.
You know, you add, so because of the openness in the script, you can add things, you know, and it was really cool.
Mallrats is kind of, it's not really a sequel to Clerks, but it takes place in the same kind of universe that Clerks does. And it's basically the adventures of these two guys who lose their girlfriends at kind of the start of the movie and spend the rest of the movie getting them back. But the whole thing takes place at the mall.
It's his own little deal, you know. He's the writer, and I kind of like it. I like the dialogue and the language. It flows. It's got a rhythm. You know, as an actor, it's always nice to read stuff that is kind of off-center. Kind of, you know, the tenses are maybe not what you would expect when you say something in real life. And it's kind of cool. I like it. Yeah.
It's like, to me, I saw it from the first time I read it as kind of late teens, early 20s angst, you know, that we all go through. And being that myself, I can completely relate.
It's kind of fun to be involved with a script that has some different levels.
He's funny, but he's not trying to be funny, that kind of thing. It's just how he is, you know? And the way Kevin Smith wrote the character is just hilarious, just as is every other character in its own way or whatever. But the things he says and the way he goes about things is what makes him really funny.
He's a Mallrat, and that's all he does. He's totally, 100% Mallrat. I'm not, and he tries to cheer me up by taking me to the mall, which I definitely do not want to do, and somehow I wind up here anyway.
Well, I play this dad who is a TV producer. And I produce for the local public access. Big time, good old major working guy trying to make it into the big league, And I got a daughter who hangs out with these guys, and one of them wants to marry her, and I don't necessarily like that idea. I think he's not very ambitious individual, and not really good enough for my daughter. And he thinks otherwise, and they have sort of an on and off love affair, on and off relationship. And he wants to ask her to marry him on this vacation. And I disagree with the whole concept of him marrying my daughter.
He's a young guy he wants to be I think that he wants to be a little bit ahead of himself. I think he's kind of in love with the idea of being in love, and kind of really wants to jump into this marriage thing with Brandy. And I think that he's going to be a bit chivalrous, and try to win back his lady, It's not dead exactly. Chivalry's not dead. No.
We decided to salt and pepper my hair, make it a little gray, a little bit, because I'm fairly young to be this girl's dad. But the salt and pepper job didn't work. My hair turned orange. It sort of didn't work. So I said, you know what? I don't like this. It's not working. I'm just going to shave it, baby. So I ended up shaving it. And it looks, Kevin, I spoke to Kevin about it, and he was all for it. And Jim was either way, whatever I wanted to do, so I ended up shaving it. I ended up going right back to my first impressions of, what this guy would look like. And ta-da, and there we go.
Renee is just your every girl. That's really how I see her. She's just like your every girl who really wants this great, mature relationship, and she wants attention from her boyfriend, and unfortunately for Renee, her boyfriend won't give it to her, and she does the typical girl thing, which is revenge, which is like, fine, I'm done with you, and now I'm gonna go hang out with the stud. And she does that, but he wins her heart over, and in the end, her original boyfriend, Brody, he wins her back.
Brandy is very, not only is she coming to the change of what happens to you at that age, and it's a very confusing age, she also has grown up with her father. That's a very strong element. And for the first time, well, not because they've been going out for quite a long time, but the boyfriend and father element is basically what's kind of yanking her arms either way. And she has to deal with that, because Brandy's a very kind, sort of giving person, so she wants to keep everyone happy, but in this situation, it's very difficult because her father's a difficult person, her boyfriend's a difficult person, so it's kind of conflicting.